Today, the free-to-play market is almost no real horror game. I actually found one who was pretty surprising. So knowing that at least 50% of all horror games are based on surprise attacks and jumps, which is not even worthy of being called fear to my opinion, is this game, Penumbra, in the good side of games or in the bad side? Before I get into graphics and all that, let me just talk to you about its history. Penumbra was released as a tech demo to showcase the creator's new physics engine. After seeing that the game was actually not bad, they created their own trilogy, which turned out to be a bunch of underrated games because of the old graphics engine. It really is a shame because you can find the whole trilogy for about $10. Okay, enough of that. Let's actually talk about the game. The gameplay of Penumbra is a mix of Half-Life 2 and Silent Hill. Every puzzle in the game is physics-based, and they really are pretty original. The horror, though, is what really drives the game forward. It's not like a boo type of game. You feel like all of this is actually happening. Each corner you're scared that there will be a monster hiding in the shadows. And when it actually happened, that there was a monster, I relied on the basic instincts, which is run for your life! And trust me, it really gets the heart pumping. It's easily some of the best horror I've ever received. I don't really want to talk about the story, so just watch this.
Mother's passing, and I thought that I couldn't be in any worse emotional state. That was before the letter dropped in my mailbox. It was supposedly written by my father, who left my mother before I was even born. The mail contained a note telling me he was dead and asked forgiveness for not being there. There was also a key leading to a safe deposit box. I thought about just throwing it away, but I had always wondered who my father was, and I just couldn't let it go. After an internal struggle, my curiosity won, and I headed to the bank where the box was deposited. In the box was an old book, written in some strange language unknown to me. There were also some notes that I figured must be in my father's handwriting. The text in the notes was hard to read, but after some effort I found out that a lot of them were about a place somewhere in Greenland. I wondered if this place might give me some clues about my late father. Days went by, and I couldn't get this place in Greenland off my mind. I knew I had to go there. Finally, I took a flight to Greenland, and after landing, I had to hitch a ride with a fishing boat. As we arrived at shore, ominous clouds were gathering in the sky. It seemed like a storm was on the way. Despite warnings from the fishermen, I started walking towards my destination. Now that I was close, I couldn't just stop and rest. As I was walking, a strange sensation went through my body. I wondered what was waiting for me out there. A half an hour later, I was caught in a fierce storm. Perhaps I should have listened to the fishermen. I struggled on blindly and thought I was about to die from exposure when I found some sheltering rocks. As I crawled under the rocks, I hit something hard and metallic. A hatch. Somehow I knew this was what I was looking for. I gripped the handle and pulled it open using all my remaining strength. Slowly, I stepped into the unknown.
That's basically it. But I do have to know that the game is only 2 hours. Graphically, for a free low-end game, it looks pretty good. Shadows looks awesome, and the atmosphere is perfect. The engine is pretty comparable with the source engine if you ask me. For the low-end part, well, it's not so good. If you want to enjoy the nice visuals I talked about earlier, you need a relatively decent PC. But you don't need anything crazy to run it. My old PC, which had GeForce 2, was able to run it at low settings, so don't worry if you just want to play the game. To conclude, Penumbra is one of the best horror experiences I've ever experienced. I just wished it lasted longer. The score not be what you think it is after what I said, but it's because it wasn't long enough, and it wasn't really PC friendly either. The one thing you can say though, is that I can't wait to try the 3 sequels.